In this initial introduction, we'll use Snap to create a short animated biography. Here's an example.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'll teach the music section of the course.
There are several elements in this initial example. There are some figures, there's some sound, and there's some animation. We'll begin by adding an image of Rachel. We can do that by going to the Costumes tab and dragging in an image of Rachel. And if we drag it into this area, then the sprite, which is this triangular object, can then be transformed and wear a costume that is Rachel. So eventually we'd like Rachel to zoom in from the right hand corner and glide down to the left hand corner. We can tell where she is by clicking the X and Y positions, and that tells us that we're about minus 117 and minus 48 in that corner. If we go up to the other corner, we'll find that the numbers are positive. The X position is about 134 over and about 75 above the midline. So the coordinate system in the stage starts at 0, 0. On the default stage, it has a width of about 480 and a height of about 360. So we can move objects around the stage by dragging over this Go To button. And if we center to 150, 100 on the horizontal axis and 50 on the vertical axis, she goes here. There's also a glide command, and if you don't see the command you want, you can use this search function to find it. And so if I say glide down to the lower corner, and so I'm going to go down to say minus 50 on the horizontal axis and also minus 50 on the vertical axis, and Rachel will glide down to that position. So I can also specify objects in terms of the stage. If you go to the sensing palette, which is in light blue, and you can drag out the costumes block, and if I look on the costumes block, there are a number of other attributes of any object that I can select. I'm going to select the sprite, but it'll probably be easier if I name the sprite Rachel so I can tell what the sprite is. And once I rename it, I can say if I want to find some position of Rachel, I can find where she is on the left axis, or I can find her attributes, or I can also find out where the left side of the stage is, and it's minus 240. The right side of the stage is plus 240. So if I want Rachel to go off the stage, I could send her to the right of the stage. So for example, I could go up here and use an operator. This is an arithmetic operator, and I can drag it, which is shown in light green, and so I can send her to the right side of the stage, plus say another 100 steps. And if I duplicate this, I can also, on the vertical axis, send her to the top of the stage, plus another 100 steps. And if I do that, she will go completely off the stage, and then I can have her glide back down to this corner. Now, a casual viewer might not realize immediately what the purpose of this block is that sends Rachel off the stage. So if I like, I can go over here, and if I click this plus icon just below the search function, I can make a custom block. And I could say go off stage. And then if I drag this block into the block editor and say OK, what I'll find is that at the bottom of the motion blocks, I've got a new block that says go off stage, which is easier to read. Also, we're going to be using this for several other sprites that we'll create later, so it'll be handy to not have to recreate this command every time, but just have it available as a custom block. Now that I've done this, let's see where I'd like Rachel to go roughly. And so say minus 120, minus 60. So on the x-axis, I'm going to have her go in round numbers to about 120. And I'll have her go to about minus 60. And that should put her right in the lower left corner. Now that Rachel has gotten onto the stage, I can use the say command to ask her to say something. And in this case, she's going to say, "Hi, I'm Rachel," to introduce herself. So if I click that, that'll appear for 2 seconds. If you want, you can make it a little longer. You can make it 3 seconds, or whatever you think is appropriate in terms of timing. So now we have a series of 3 blocks that cause these 3 actions. She starts off stage, and then she glides down to this corner. At this point, I know where I want her to go, so I can take off these display of the coordinates by unchecking those boxes for X position and Y position. And I've got a pretty good beginning of a biography. I could also use the sound editor to have her actually say the words out loud as well as have them appear in a speech bubble. We can do that with the recording function. So I'm going to record a sound in this way. I'll say 1, 2, 3 in a moment. So I click record. 1, 2, 3. And now I can play it back. 1, 2, 3. If that's what I want, and in this case, as a demonstration, it is, I can save this and rename it so that I can remember what the words are. So 1, 2, and 3. So now I have a sound that I've recorded. And if I want to play the sound, as you might suspect, you go to the sound palette, which is in violet, and come over here, and then select the sound 1, 2, 3, and then I can play that back. 1, 2, 3. Now, in the case of Rachel, I probably want her to introduce herself. You can drag a sound into the sound tab in the same way that you can drag an image into the image tab. So now I've dragged this sound that Rachel previously recorded.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And now I can add that to the script by pulling out, "Hi, I'm Rachel." Now there are 2 ways that we can do this. We can either just play the sound.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Or we can play the sound and have the programs wait to do anything else until the sound is completely finished.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
So if I drop that in, we have a fairly complete introduction, but there's one more thing that I can add. I can add a green flag, and when I add the green flag at the top of the stack of blocks, when I click the green flag in the upper right-hand corner, it will begin the program.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Now, I think I'd like to start the sound in a slightly different way. I'd like to start the sound and then have the speech bubble appear. So let's try it this way.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
So now we have a fairly complete introduction. In the next video, we'll add another object and show how we can link a series of actions together.